Hi everybody, Brett from Westcon here. In this video I'm going to demonstrate how you can use information from the BlueSky platform to make informed decisions when it comes to purchasing reserved instances for compute infrastructure on the Amazon platform. As you can see, I've already gone ahead and logged into the BlueSky platform. Once I successfully logged in, I switched to the Optimizer tab. In the Optimizer tab, we get information about opportunities to save money in our AWS account. Today, we're going to talk specifically about how to purchase EC2 Reserved Instances, and that's this widget right here at the top. You can see right away we have 4 recommendations in our demo account, and it does also estimate potential savings if we were to purchase 3-year reserved instances. So to get a little more information, I'm going to click on this tab, drill down in, and you can see here the different recommendations that the BlueSky platform is making. Over on the left-hand side in my filters, I get different information about how I want to have the BlueSky platform estimate cost savings. So you can see here with reserved instances, AWS allows us 2 different terms, a 1-year term or a 3-year term. I've gone ahead and selected 1-year term. I normally don't buy 3-year reserved instances because AWS is continuously pushing prices down, and if you buy that reserved instance on a 3-year term, you may not have access to those additional cost savings. So I prefer 1-year reserved instances, and for the purposes of the demonstration today, I'm going to use a no upfront reserved instance purchase option. There are other options here. You can go with a partial upfront or a full upfront. This is basically how you're going to pay for the reserved instance, and depending on the offering type that you select, that will affect the overall discount that you get. But like I said, for today we're going to use no upfront, and you can see here I have 8 entries in our table and potential annual savings based on that information. If I click the little plus here, you can see that the BlueSky platform will expand out and give us justification as to why it's making the recommendation to purchase the reserved instance. So we can just scroll down here and you can see different bits of information it gives us, right? Detailed information, the impact of purchasing that reserved instance, analysis on potential savings. So lots of detailed information here. What I'm going to use is this first line, the details here, to help us understand where this reserved instance or where this EC2 instance is running and how we're going to use that information to purchase the reserved instance in the AWS Management Console. Now that we've used the BlueSky platform to help us determine the reserved instances that we would like to purchase in our account, we need to go over to the AWS Management Console and actually make those purchases. So I've logged into our demo account in AWS and I've gone over to the EC2 dashboard. I've also, just for clarity, changed to the CA Central, the Canadian region, where all of the instances that I was showing you in the BlueSky platform exist. So you can see here, if I click on running instances, we've got a few instances that are running in CA Central, and what we're going to do is we're actually going to purchase a reserved instance to help us lower our compute costs in this account. So using the information that we got from BlueSky, we can go over now to the Reserved Instances tab, and you can see we have no reserved instances. So we're going to go ahead and click Purchase Reserved Instances, and we can get all of this additional information. So a couple things to keep in mind. There are multiple types of reserved instances that you can purchase now in AWS. So there's a standard RI, and the standard RI gives you the opportunity to save the most on your EC2 compute costs, but it does have some limited functionality in the fact that you have to be specific on the instance family and size, as well as the availability zone. The other or newer reserved instance type is what's called a convertible RI, and this gives us a lot of flexibility. At any time during the reserved instance purchase, we can change the instance family, the operating system, so it gives us more flexibility than the standard RI. The difference between the two, outside of the flexibility, is that the discount for a convertible RI is lower than a standard RI. So for today, we are going to use the standard RI. So that's under offering class. We're going to say standard. The other thing to keep in mind is that when RIs first came out, we actually had to pick both the region and the availability zone. And what that allowed us to do was not only lower our per hour cost, but also reserve capacity in the availability zone to run that instance. What AWS found over time was that most people were more interested in just reducing their per hour costs rather than reserving capacity. So you can see here by default now, we don't actually reserve capacity when we purchase a reserved instance. If you do need to reserve capacity, you can click this little checkbox here and you can see we're going to get additional information where we have to pick the availability zone as well as the other information. So today we're going to leave this off. Okay. It is regional specific. So we've already gone into the region, the CA Central, because that's where our infrastructure is deployed. There are a bunch of other options we can select. We're not going to worry about tenancy. Again, we're just going to leave this as default. The instance types do have to match the information that we had in the BlueSky Westcon portal. And we know that we had multiple T2 micro instances running in this account. So we're going to leave the instance type at T2 micro. If you click this, you can see all the other instance types that are available. I mentioned that I'm a fan of 12-month reserved instances. So we're going to select the term of 1 to 12 months. And then in this example, we are going to select our payment option of no upfront. And we'll click search. So you can see here we have a single option. The seller is AWS. I'll just point this out. AWS does have what's called the Reserved Instance Marketplace, which allows you to sell your unreserved instances to other AWS customers. There are some advantages to this, maybe no upfront costs, shorter terms, etc. But for today, we're going to just stick with buying this directly from AWS, and it gives us all of the information related to the reserved instance that we're going to purchase. So our term, our effective rate, any upfront pricing. In this case, since we said no upfront, that price is 0, etc. Okay. And you can see here we've got our desired capacity of 1. We're just going to purchase 1 reserved instance for the demonstration today. So if I'm happy with all of this information, I click Add to Cart. You can see here it's updated your cart with 1 reserved instance. Total due now is 0. I can view the cart. If I'm still happy with everything, I can go ahead and click Purchase. Right? So now we click Close, and you can see here that our payment processing is pending. So this might take a couple minutes for everything to be updated, and at that point, we now have a reserved instance. So thanks very much for watching. What I've done here is demonstrated how you can use information from the BlueSky platform to make informed purchasing decisions when it comes to compute reserved instances on the AWS platform.